Hi there, this is Brenda with Keenan Kreations, and today I have a quick and easy holiday card for you using a double layer stamping technique. To get started, we're going to use the Ornamental Pine stamp set and Old Olive ink. This image is pretty large, and rather than taking it to the ink pad, I like to lay it on the table and take the ink pad to the stamp. And you're just going to pat it to get it nice and inky. We're going to use Very Vanilla cardstock. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And we have another piece of Very Vanilla cardstock that measures 2.5 by 3 3/4. We're going to place this piece directly in the center. You could lightly tack it down with adhesive, but I just place it. We're going to take your stamp, and I want the branch angled to the left side, and I want the top of the image to the top of this larger piece. So line that up, and once you set it down, you want to take your time and press very firmly, especially along the edges of that smaller cardstock that's in the center. So just give it a good pressing all the way around and lift that up. I like to hold this piece down as I lift it up so it doesn't move. And you'll notice that there's an area with no ink around that smaller piece. That's going to be covered up later. Next, we're going to use Early Espresso ink for the greeting. And I'm choosing this greeting for the outside of the card from the Bright and Beautiful stamp set. Just tap it on your ink pad. Make sure that you are not upside down. And again, hold this when you lift up the greeting. Next, we're going to baked brown sugar, and we're going to add some splatter with this image here from Gorgeous Grunge. Now you'll notice this stamp has a lot of open areas, so you want to make sure you don't mash it on the ink pad. Just simply tap, tap, and you can see that the ink is only on the raised bumps, not in these little open areas. You're going to angle the stamp. So I want part of this to be off that smaller piece on both sides, and just lightly press, and again hold that in place when you lift up. Still using the baked brown sugar, we're going to add the pinecone image. We're going to set this aside for just a moment. We're going to add some linen thread. So I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive around the edges. So I'm going to push this around the back so it's in the adhesive. And then I'm just going to wrap this a couple of times. And this is going to go right to the back. I do like to add a little more tape just on top to make sure that it doesn't come undone. Now we're going to layer this to the front of the card, and this is Very Vanilla cardstock also, 8.5 by 5.5, and scored down the middle at 4 1/4. When you're lining up your edges, just make sure they're nice and straight, and this is going to go right to the center. We're going to layer this center panel to a slightly larger piece of Very Vanilla. This is 2 3/4 by 4 inches. Add adhesive around all the edges. Now this extra layer serves as a nice mat for this image, but it will also cover up that gap in stamping from having those 2 layers. We're going to add dimensionals to the back, probably about 6 of these. So we're going to double up this linen thread and tie a little bow. So you're going to make a loop, wrap this around, and then you're going to push that back through. And don't worry about what it looks like when you first tie it. Just get it tied, and then you can make your adjustments. Now after I tie it, I kind of tug these little tails down a little bit, and I actually want that a little bit smaller. And then when I trim it, I want these to be at different lengths. So I'm going to trim this one slightly longer than that one. We're going to use our glue dot and add one right to the center of the bow. And the glue dot's larger than the center of the bow, so you're going to fold that glue dot onto itself and make it kind of a glue blob. Now you can add this to the front of your card right about here. We're going to stamp the inside and the envelope to match. Back to the baked brown sugar. And early espresso for the greeting. And I'm going to stamp the greeting a little bit off center. Add adhesive around the edges and layer this to the inside of your card. The Very Vanilla cardstock is a little thin, and I like to add that extra layer to sturdy it up a bit. There you go, a pretty quick and easy card for the holidays using the Ornamental Pine stamp set from the holiday catalog. If you have any questions about this project, please let me know. For more ideas, you can visit me at KeenanCreations.com. Thanks and have a great day.